Australian Jewish Association, and I'm making this video to give you a brief report on the CPAC conference. Thanks to Senator Christine Keneally, it got a lot of publicity. CPAC stands for Conservative Political Action Conference. Sometimes you attend an event that really exceeds your expectations, and that was the case for this event. As far as I know, AJA was the only Jewish group represented at the conference. Now, I need to say up front that my attendance was sponsored by Advance Australia, and I'm also on the advisory board of Advance Australia. So just a few highlights. And the highlights I'm going to give you are not those that you'll see on the public videos, but personal highlights because I had an opportunity to speak to some of the key people at the CPAC conference about issues with which AJA is particularly engaged. So Senator Mark Meadows is a confidant of President Trump. He's a Republican senator, and he is particularly pro-Israel. He, in fact, did some of the groundwork in Washington, which saw a range of pro-Israel policies introduced by the Trump administration, including the recognition of Jerusalem, the relocation of the embassy, the recognition of the Golan Heights as part of Israel, the revision and cutting of funding to UNRWA and the Palestinian Authority. This whole suite of issues, Senator Meadows was intimately involved. So we were able to discuss those things. And most importantly, I gained a commitment from him. Because he is able to have direct communication with President Trump, I asked him to deliver a message from AJA personally to President Trump to thank him for these initiatives in support of Israel. And I have the promise of Senator Meadows to deliver our message directly to President Trump. The other person who I spoke with one-on-one for some short time was Nigel Farage, Mr. Brexit, as he's known, and obviously we discussed a range of issues concerning the progress of Brexit, but everyone does that. I wanted to get his view particularly on anti-Semitism in the United Kingdom, the Labour Party, and the insight that he gave me, which we haven't focused on adequately, is he said, look, this is not just a Labour Party issue. The European Union embraced the exit of the United Kingdom from the European Union. I had a chance also to speak for a while with Mark Latham, and we'll be catching up with him again. Mark Latham was one of the speakers at our New South Wales political forum prior to the state election. As I'm sure all of you know, Mark Latham is the New South Wales leader of One Nation. He's got a broad political agenda, but he's made it known that in the next week or two, he will be introducing amendments to the New South Wales abortions bill, which would create an avenue for late-term abortion, even for gender selection, etc. And he's working with others in order to try to amend that legislation. And caught up with an old friend, Tony Abbott, our former Prime Minister, and had an opportunity to thank him for his long-term support and his recent speech with Shurat Hadin in Jerusalem that was particularly supportive of Israel and the Jewish people. If you haven't seen it, go onto YouTube, scroll back, do a search on the AJA Facebook page, and you'll see we've got a short extract of his speech. So all in all, it was a remarkable opportunity to connect with some of the leading conservative thinkers. No one was advocating discrimination or violence, etc. This was an open discussion, a dialogue concerning conservative principles and ideas. And when the next CPAC comes to Australia, I would strongly recommend that people who are not into political correctness and the usual leftist media bias should really consider going to all or part of the CPAC conference. It's quite a breath of fresh air and to be highly recommended. I'll add just at the end of this video a few photos of people I've met. Thank you very much for watching.